Paris, 1925. A con man walked into the French Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs and sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal twice. His name was Victor Lustig, and he was the greatest con artist who ever lived. Victor spoke 5 languages, had 47 aliases, and had been conning people since he was a teenager. He'd scammed millionaires, bankers, and businessmen across Europe and America. But in 1925, Victor was broke. He needed his biggest con yet. Then Victor read something in the newspaper, something that gave him an idea. The Eiffel Tower was expensive to maintain, and France was broke after World War I. What if, Victor thought, the government wanted to sell the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal? It was insane. Impossible. The Eiffel Tower was a national symbol. But that's exactly what made it perfect. Nobody would believe someone could be that bold. Victor forged government credentials, official letters, ministry seals. He created a fake identity, Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. Victor researched the 6 biggest scrap metal dealers in Paris. These men dealt in tons of metal, buying and selling for profit. If the Eiffel Tower was really being demolished, they'd pay millions for the iron. Victor sent each dealer an official letter, marked confidential, government business. Each dealer received the same letter. Each one thought they were the only one invited. All 6 responded. They wanted the meeting. Victor rented a limousine, hired a secretary, and prepared for the performance of his life. May 7, 1925, 6 scrap metal dealers arrived at the Hotel de Crillon, one of the most expensive hotels in Paris. The perfect place for a secret government meeting. Victor was already there, in the best suit money could buy, looking every bit the government official. The dealers entered one by one and saw each other, confused. "Thank you for coming, gentlemen," Victor said. "What I'm about to tell you is classified. The French government has made a difficult decision. The Eiffel Tower is being demolished." The dealers couldn't believe it. The Eiffel Tower? Demolished? Victor showed them documents, official government papers, demolition plans, all forged. "The maintenance costs are too high," Victor explained. "France cannot afford it anymore." The dealers were starting to believe him. This was real government business. Then Victor said the magic words. "The scrap metal will be sold through competitive bidding." The room changed. Suddenly, the dealers weren't colleagues. They were competitors. Each one wanted the Eiffel Tower metal, and each was willing to pay. But Victor added one more condition. To ensure discretion, the winning bidder must pay a security deposit. Today, the dealers looked at each other nervously. A deposit? How much? 50,000 francs. Just to bid. The con was working perfectly. One dealer paid immediately. André Poisson, a scrap metal dealer desperate to prove himself. Within an hour, all 6 dealers had paid their deposits. 300,000 francs total. But Victor wasn't done. He told the dealers to wait for the official bidding date. "I'll contact each of you personally," he said. "This must remain absolutely secret." The dealers agreed. They wouldn't tell anyone, not even each other. That night, Victor checked out of the Hotel de Crillon and disappeared. He took a train to Vienna with 300,000 francs in his briefcase. Back in Paris, the dealers waited and waited. No call, no letter, no meeting about the bidding. Finally, Poisson went to the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs to find the Deputy Director General. There was no Deputy Director General named Lustig. There never had been. Poisson had been scammed. The meeting, the documents, the government official. All fake. He'd lost 50,000 francs. But that wasn't the worst part. If Poisson reported the crime, everyone would know. He'd been fooled into trying to buy the Eiffel Tower. He'd be a laughingstock. His business would be ruined. So André Poisson did nothing. He never reported the crime. Victor Lustig had committed the perfect crime. The victim was too embarrassed to go to the police. But Victor made one mistake. He got greedy. 6 months later, Victor Lustig returned to Paris. Same con, same story, different scrap metal dealers. Victor used the exact same script, the exact same forged documents. The new dealers paid their deposits, another 200,000 francs. And just like before, Victor disappeared. But this time, one dealer wasn't too embarrassed to report it. The police investigated and discovered Victor's first scam from 6 months earlier. 8 victims total, 500,000 francs stolen, all from one fake government official. The Paris police sent Victor's description to every police department in Europe. But Victor was already gone. He'd boarded a ship to America. The Eiffel Tower scam made Victor Lustig famous. Among criminals, he was the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice. But in America, Victor had bigger plans. Much bigger. America in the 1920s was full of millionaires, businessmen, investors, and Victor knew exactly how to con them. He'd run variations of the same con: fake investments, counterfeit money machines. But there was one mark Victor wanted more than any other: the most dangerous man in America. Al Capone controlled Chicago. Bootlegging, gambling, murder. He was untouchable. Capone had millions, and Victor wanted some of it. But conning Al Capone was suicide. If Capone found out, Victor would be killed. Victor didn't care. He arranged a meeting with Capone. He told Capone he had a business opportunity, a way to double any investment. Capone wasn't stupid. He asked for proof. Victor said he needed capital to set up the operation: $50,000. Capone thought about it. $50,000 was nothing to him. But if Victor was lying, Capone would find him and kill him. Capone gave Victor $50,000 in cash. Victor took the money and ran. He went to New York and waited. Would Capone send someone to kill him? Days passed, then weeks. Nothing happened. Victor realized something. Capone wasn't coming for him. Why? Because Capone never reported the crime either. Al Capone, the most feared gangster in America, had been conned, and he couldn't admit it. Just like the Eiffel Tower dealers, Capone's pride protected Victor. Victor had now conned French businessmen and American gangsters, and gotten away with both. But Victor's luck was about to change. The FBI was watching. Victor had been conning people across state lines. That made it a federal crime. The FBI assigned their best agent to the case. His name was Peter O'Connell. O'Connell studied Victor's pattern. Different names, different cities, same con. O'Connell sent alerts to every major city: banks, hotels, police departments. The net was closing. Every con Victor ran, the FBI got closer. In 1934, Victor tried to run one more con in New York, a fake investment scheme. But the victim recognized Victor from FBI wanted posters and called the police. NYPD arrived within minutes. Victor tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. After 20 years of running, Victor Lustig was finally caught. FBI agent O'Connell arrived to make the arrest personally. O'Connell looked at Victor and smiled. "I've been looking for you for a very long time." Victor was charged with counterfeiting, fraud, and interstate racketeering. He faced 50 years in federal prison. The judge called Victor one of the most dangerous con artists in American history. But Victor was already sick. He'd developed pneumonia in jail. In 1947, Victor Lustig died in prison, age 57. He never revealed where he hid the Eiffel Tower money. Some say it's still out there. Victor Lustig's story became legend in the criminal underworld. The man who sold the Eiffel Tower. The man who conned Al Capone. Police called him the craftsman because his cons were works of art. He spoke 5 languages fluently, understood psychology, human greed, and social engineering. But Victor had one weakness. He loved the game too much to stop. Even in his final days, he was planning new cons from his prison cell. Today, Victor Lustig is studied by the FBI. His techniques are taught to agents. Security experts teach businesses how to avoid being lustinged. His fake government official routine is now called authority impersonation fraud. The Eiffel Tower scam is taught in business schools as the perfect example of exploiting trust. Psychologists study Victor to understand how con artists think. His ability to read people, to find their weakness, was extraordinary. But the Eiffel Tower scam remains his masterpiece, his greatest work. Because Victor didn't just con individuals. He conned an entire nation. He made France believe its most famous landmark was being demolished, and sold it twice. No monument, no building, no landmark has ever been sold by a con artist. Except the Eiffel Tower. It's considered the greatest con in history. The dealers wanted the Eiffel Tower medal, so they ignored the warning signs. They ignored that the meeting was in a hotel, not a government building. They ignored that they had to pay a deposit just to bid. They ignored that a government official demanded cash, not a bank transfer. Every detail screamed scam. But greed is louder than common sense. Victor understood this. He didn't trick people. He let them trick themselves. He created the perfect situation, then let human nature do the rest. That's why Victor Lustig is studied. Not just for what he did, but how he did it. The Eiffel Tower is still standing, of course. It was never in danger. But for a brief moment in 1925, Victor Lustig made the impossible seem real. He convinced wealthy businessmen to buy France's national symbol as scrap metal. No other con artist has ever pulled off anything close to it. And it worked twice. Because people are predictable when they want something badly enough. Victor knew that. He studied people, their weaknesses, their desires. He was a psychologist, a performer, and an artist who happened to be a criminal. And for one perfect moment in Paris, all those skills came together. The Eiffel Tower scam, Victor Lustig's masterpiece. And nobody has ever matched it. Today, over 7 million people visit the Eiffel Tower every year. None of them know they're looking at the monument that was sold to scrap metal dealers. Twice. The tower stands as a symbol of Paris, of France, of engineering brilliance. But it also stands as a monument to Victor Lustig, the man who sold it. Every tourist photograph, every postcard, every view, they're all part of Victor's story now. The con didn't just fool 8 men. It fooled history. Today, Victor's taught everywhere. FBI, business schools, psychology classes. His lesson, greed blinds reason. Remember this, the Eiffel Tower was sold twice. Smart people bought it. Greed makes geniuses fools. 7 million visit the tower yearly. None know its secret. But you do now. Victor Lustig. He conned the rich, the powerful, entire nations. The greatest con artist ever. We learned. Monuments are safe now. Because of him. The greatest con of all time.